The Tennessee Volunteers offense under Josh Heupel has been one of the most dynamic and explosive units in college football since he took over in 2021. Heupel brought the Veer and Shoot system to Tennessee, and it has been a game changer, transforming the Vols into one of the most high-powered offenses in the country. In this video, we're going to break down exactly what makes the Tennessee offense so lethal, focusing on the formations and key concepts they use to dominate defenses. We're also going to cover some of the essential principles of the Veer and Shoot and how you can implement them in college football 25. Now, this offense is part of a bigger scheme where we're going to be breaking down 3 of the best Veer and Shoot offenses of all time, with each of them getting their own video. But because we're going to be using the Mississippi State playbook for all of them, you'll be able to mix and match elements from each one to create one unstoppable offense. Now, the first formation we are looking at is gun wide. This is a balanced 2x2 formation with wide splits that help create natural space in both the run and pass game. Tennessee frequently use similar formations to stress defenses horizontally, using their splits to open up space for their dynamic RPOs, QB runs, and explosive pass plays. By spreading out the defense, they can create more one-on-one matchups, which Heupel loves to exploit. This formation provides a well-rounded set of options with a mix of the RPOs, quarterback runs, and an efficient way to attack both man and zone coverage. And the play we're breaking down here is PA slot choice. This is a classic Veer and Shoot play that's built around an option route by our slot receiver, which can attack vertically and change based on the coverage. This play provides multiple ways to attack all levels of the field. Now, to set it up, come out with your slot option to the wide side of the field, then take the outside receiver on that side of the ball and put him on a corner route. Then you want to put the slot receiver on the short side on a post and take your running back and put him on an option route, and this will be your check down. Now, first you want to look to the slot option route. Against single high coverage, the slot will run a streak up the seam, and if it's open, you can just fire it in up the seam right away. Now, against too high coverage, the slot is going to run a post over the middle, and if the linebackers and users stay shallow, you can just hit this post for a big play. Now, if the option route is covered, you want to look to the post route from the opposite slot receiver as he breaks across the middle. This read is effective, especially if the linebackers hesitate or stay shallow, opening up the window for the throw. Then you can also look to the 2 outside receivers. One is going to be running a corner route and will sit near the sideline, while the other one is going to be running an option route, which will run a curl a good amount of the time. Now, either of these routes can get open and can work if the middle of the field is taken away. Then lastly, the option route serves as our check down. He will sit down against zone and break either in or out versus man coverage, and this is a great safety valve for this whole play. The next formation we have is wide trips. This is a great trips formation with super wide splits by our receivers that's going to help stretch out the defense. Tennessee love to use 3x1 formations to create a ton of stress for defenses by forcing them to cover more of the field. The trips alignment allows Tennessee to overload one side of the defense, which can lead to favorable matchups, and the wide splits spread defenders out and allow them to isolate key matchups on the perimeter. Now, in this formation, we're going to have a really good mix of RPOs, deep shots, and quick underneath throws, and this is going to make this wide trips formation really tough to handle. Now, first up, we have the play wheel curls. This is a great play to attack zone coverage with our deep cross that gets in behind defenders, combined with multiple spot routes that sit down and find soft spots in zone coverages. To set this up, come out with your trips to the wide side of the field, then take your inside slot receiver and put him on a deep cross, then take your solo receiver on the short side and put him on a clear out route, so that can either be a streak or a bang 8 route. Now, first, we always want to look to our deep crosser. Now, if at the snap the user leaves the middle, you can just throw it as the crosser breaks over the middle of the field, or you can hold onto the ball and wait until the crosser gets in behind the flat defender along the sideline. Next, if the user leaves the middle to run with that crosser, you want to look to the inside spot route as he sits down in the zone. Then if the middle of the field is taken away, you can shift your attention to the wide side flat defender. If he bites down on the running back swing, you can throw that outside sit route, which should be open, finding green grass against the zone coverage. And then lastly, the check down on this play is going to be that running back swing route, and you can just throw it into him and pick up whatever rack yardage you can. The next play we're looking at in this formation is PA read flood. This is a great man-beating play that gives us 4 solid options for attacking all levels of the field against man defenses. Set it up, come out with your trips to the wide side of the field, then take the middle slot receiver and put him on a corner route. Then you want to put your outside receiver on a deep crosser and block the running back. Now, the primary route here is the corner, which usually gets great separation. Corner routes are fantastic against man coverage because they keep the ball away from the user in the middle of the field. Now, if the corner route is covered, you want to look outside of him to the deep cross. This is especially effective if the user leaves the middle of the field or if they don't have safeties over the top. For underneath options, we have the shallow cross from the solo receiver and a whip route from the inside slot. Both are excellent checkdowns or hot reads to beat a blitz. Then the third formation we are looking at is gun wide stack. This formation utilizes super wide splits and a 2x2 stack on each side of the field, creating a super unique look that can confuse defenses, and the stacked alignment makes it a challenge for defenders to properly align pre-snap, which can lead to a ton of blown coverages. Tennessee uses these wide stack formations to create explosive plays down the field and put significant stress on defenses, and the super wide splits force defenses to cover a ton of space, making them highly vulnerable to vertical routes and quick hitting RPOs along with play action concepts. In this court formation, we're also going to incorporate plays where we motion the running back out of the backfield to create an empty formation, adding another wrinkle for the defenses to handle, and this motion can create a ton of mismatches, such as linebackers having to cover a fast running back in space. Now, the play we're looking at here is deep choice. This is an essential veer and shoot play that features really powerful option routes, but this also has a unique twist with us motioning the running back out of the backfield to create that empty look. To set this up, come out with your option routes to the wide side of the field. Then you want to motion your running back out of the backfield and put him on a deep cross. Now, versus single high zone coverage, both the option routes will run deep sit routes. Then our running back is going to run a deep cross. Now, if the linebackers stay inside on the cross, then you want to hit that slot that is sitting down in the zone. Then if the linebackers widen out on the slot, then you can throw that cross over the middle of the field. Then the drag underneath is the check down option on this play. Then versus two high zone, the read on the inside will stay the same with the running back on the crosser, and then the slot will sit down and run the option. And we just want to play off those hook defenders, and you can either hit the sit or the crosser. But now where it changes, the outside receiver is going to run a post over the middle, and if the linebacker stays shallow or run with the crosser, you can fire in the post in behind them, and then the check down is still going to be the drag coming across the field underneath, and you can drop it down to him if everything is covered down the field. Then if you want to take your game to the next level, you need to check out my website, Scheme Kings. Up right now, I have part 2 of this Tennessee Vols offense, where I break down 8 more plays that you can add to everything you learned in this video. It has some really good run plays, some great ways to push the ball down the field versus man and zone coverage, and it's all based around the Veer and Shoot offense. Then also up on the site, I have another great mini scheme up for this Veer and Shoot and my RG3 Baylor's Veer and Shoot offense, and still a ton more coming for this scheme that will only be found on the site. Then there's also a ton of different offensive schemes on the site, also like my dual threat QB offense, where I break down some of the greatest running QBs of all time and how you can use them to their full potential in both Madden and College Football 25. Then also have my spread to run offense, where I broke down 3 of the best college offenses of all time, and I have multiple defenses on the site, like my Nick Saban defensive scheme that works for both Madden and College Football 25. So by subscribing to the site, you'll also get access to all my Madden 25 content and my College Football 25 content for one price. So if you want to purchase memberships, you can get the yearly membership, which will save you $50 over the course of the year. Then I'm also running my mobile QB sale on the site, and this will run until November 28th. Use code VEER at checkout to get 50% off your first month if you do the monthly membership. Now, if you want to check out the site, I will link it down below. Now, in this section, we're going to break down what we can learn from the real life implementation of this Tennessee offensive scheme and how we can apply those strategies to our offense in College Football 25. Now, first up, we're going to use a ton of wide splits and also some stacks to create easy yardage opportunities down the field and open up significant holes in the run game. These wide splits force defenses to spread out, which can lead to lighter boxes and more room to run. Now, one play that we'll use that uses these really wide splits and stacked looks to their full potential is all go in wide stack. It is one of the best vertical pass plays in the whole playbook, and it is incredible against all zone coverage and match defenses as well. Now, the only adjustment I make is have our running back to the wide side of the field, then put him on an option route and motion him out to that wide side. And this will create an empty look. Now, versus cover 2 defenses, the flat defender will shoot inside on the vertical route, and the streak will get a free release up the sideline, and you can just fire it deep down the field, and you just want to keep this away from the safety coming over and drop it into that hole. Then against cover 3 coverages, we want to look to our 2 inside vertical routes as they break back up the field, and they're going to go inside the seams, and this is where the running back option route can be great to hold down the user and the linebackers, and you can just go to whichever seam is more open. Then if you know your opponent is running match coverage, we still want to motion motion the running back out of the backfield, but now I like to put him on a streak route. Now he's going to break up field and be completely wide open with the 4 deep blue match players matching the 4 vertical routes from our stack, and you can just bomb them deep over the top with our running back for easy scores. Then lastly on this play, our running back option route is our check down, and he's just going to sit down in the zone or break in or out versus man coverage, and he's just a great underneath option to go to. Then the other aspect of these wide splits that helps our offense is it spreads defenses out so much. It allows for super light boxes, and when teams do spread out, it makes it super easy to run the ball. Then if they don't spread out, we want to have screens on the outside we can flip it out to where we have the numbers advantage. The 2 plays we are looking at here are RPO read wide receiver screen in gun stack and RPO read bubble in gun wide. Now these 2 plays will work the same way. One will just have a bubble to the outside and one will just have a wide receiver screen. So both of them start with a read option on the inside, and if the DN crashes down, you just keep it with your QB and get on the edge and make a play. Then if the DN stays on the QB, you can hand the ball off and get downhill with your running back, and if they are super spread, it should allow you to have some big holes up the middle. Then if you see the defense not staying wide pre or post snap, then this is where we can flip it out to either our wide receiver screen or our bubble on the edge and make the defense pay for not staying spread out. Then we want to use a ton of vertical passes in this Tennessee offense to maximize big play opportunities and consistently stretch defenses vertically. By utilizing a variety of vertical routes, we force defenders to respect the deep threat on every play. So the vertical shot we're looking at here is PA deep choice, and this is the best deep pass in this whole Tennessee offense, and it's going to shred all zone coverages, and it is also a super unique 1-play touchdown versus cover 3. To set this up, come out with your slot fade to the short side of the field, then take the outside receiver on that short side and motion him in and put him on a streak. Then take the slot on the wide side and put him on a bang 8. And then lastly, I like to put the running back on just like an option route for a check down. Now against cover 3, this can be a 1-play touchdown to our slot on the short side. He's going to rip down the seam, and the deep third on this side will get pulled to the sideline by the slot fade. Then the deep safety will get pulled to the middle of the field. And once this seam route clears both of them, then just pass lead this up into the inside, and you can bomb cover 3s for 1-play touchdowns. Then versus cover 2, the slot fade will get in behind the flat defender. Then the deep blue defender will get held in the middle by that seam ball, and you can just drop this into the cover 2 hole up along the sideline. Then also against 2 high zones like cover 2 or cover 4, the outside receiver on the wide side will run an option route, and it'll turn into a post over the middle of the field. And if the linebackers stay shallow, then you can just throw it in front of the safeties. Then lastly, if everything is covered deep, you can just check it down to your running back who's on the option route and just drop it into him for some easy yards. Now with just what you have here for this Tennessee offense, you will be in a great spot. But remember, there's part 2 of this video up on Scheme Kings right now that is going to make this whole offense way more difficult to stop. But then if you want a full breakdown on the idea behind my full Veer and Shoot scheme with a deep dive into personnel we want to use and the principles and idea behind the Veer and Shoot, then you need to check out the intro video for the whole offense right here.